Hey there, love doodles. All right, we have got another power-packed week. My gosh. I have just finished writing a few pages of channeled messages from my spirit team, and we are going to power through them to help whoever's drawn to this message really find that next big shift. That it's like last week. It's a heavy-duty big guns sort of message that if you are drawn to be here, this may be for you. So as you're listening, see if it's resonating. And if not, hopefully another message will come through in another reading. This is timeless. So anytime you find this, it's perfect. If you're drawn to it, your intuition knows exactly how to get you the messages that you need. It doesn't have to be just in the week that I have shot this. Although, if you're looking for your energy forecast, this is something to consider. Again, if it resonates with you. My name is Stephanie, and I'm a psychic medium and a conscious channel. And I have been doing this for over 30 years. So let's dive in and see what my team has to say and how the cards are supporting that. I do my readings first, my channeling first, and then I lay the cards to see how they correspond. And that helps me because I tell you, if I would read these cards just from my understandings of the meanings, I promise you, when I first saw these cards, and then after doing pages of channeling, and then my guides telling me how these cards associate, I would have been wrong about all of them. So they're going to give some interesting new spins to some things that is so fascinating. So I'm right along this journey with you, and I trust that this message is going to resonate on some level, even if it's just one thing I say, something that could help you move your life forward. And if not, let it go. Do not ever give your power away to another human being, especially cards. All right, so let's dive in. My goodness. If you hear little flipping, it is just me flipping my paper. So where do I want to start? There is, where to begin? The main card that they were drawing me to, so I'm going to mush in the channeling and the cards kind of moving back and forth because they're so interrelated. The world card, that's the first card with the butterflies, it's in reverse. It's interesting. When I was drawn to look down into the deck, 2-3 cards down is the Fool card, which I was assuming would be there. I could feel it. When I was looking at this card and asking my team what it meant, they labeled it as the Fool card. Very strange. I haven't had them do that before. They were showing me that there is a challenge with putting something to bed, a past way of being, a situation, a job, a partnership, something that there's a fear of closing one chapter and moving forward. That literally can be an overall life kind of thing where, I mean, who doesn't struggle with letting go of the past? You know, our minds tend to creep into the past and regurgitate challenging situations, keeping them alive in the present moment, which they don't have to, but our minds just trained to do that. And there is a real need to start to lovingly, curiously take a look at those things that may be pulling you backwards or keeping you standing still. I saw an image of somebody kind of standing over to the left, and they were in sort of a shadow. And what I was hearing was, where did I write that? They said they're playing a game of shade. Like, what the heck does that mean? And they said, wind is in the shade, calm is in the sun. And they showed me this flash of somebody out in a backyard. And when they were trying to hide from the light, symbolically speaking, there was more chaos, more tumultuousness, where the wind was whipping around, where it was cold. And when they stood into the sunshine, they immediately felt grounded and calm. So again, this is a symbol, of course, of some inner work that's wanting to be done. It's just very unusual language that they're using. And maybe that's going to specifically resonate for, one or two of you. And they were talking about, they said thriving is your spirit's natural state. So there was something about like really struggling with moving forward. I couldn't get you to move from the left corner of my view. And so again, this may not resonate with you, or it may resonate with you in a very specific area of your life. Although a lot of this is going to encapsulate, there are some fears that they were showing is actually affecting all parts of your life: career, finances, relationships. So if any of those are feeling a little wonky, you might want to hang in there and see if anything resonates. So let's see. I just have to look at my little scribble and stick figure drawings. Oh, it's interesting. So I was drawn to ask, why are you struggling to move forward? Whoever this resonates with. And they showed me going down into the earth under your feet, down into the roots of the issue. They also showed me the Bagua map, because I've got a past with Feng Shui. And while I initially thought this was a love reading, specifically solely for relationships, excuse me, they showed me the family area, the lineage. And this is important because there's something being carried from your family. And especially they were showing me your parents, but of course your parents are holding the imprint of their parents, etc., etc. And they showed this little cutout window back into childhood. And I saw a male that was very tall and very bright and really taking up this whole space, like, head to toe, filling this little cavern that I saw. My goodness, I am verklempt, excuse me. Perhaps we have some blockages in speaking up around our past. I'm just taking a little sip of tea. So hopefully my little coughing will stop. They showed that there was a female, so if you had a standard father-mother connection, and the female was shrinking. She was in shadow. She was kind of grayed out. She was very, very small compared to the male. Now this could be, it could be a domineering father figure, but it could be a father figure that just was bigger than life and really took up so much space. And perhaps your mother had a pattern in her life of shrinking. And I feel like she got this probably from her mother. And there's this pattern. I saw you running into a closet and hiding, watching this dynamic, and you were also shrinking. So where do you, even if you're bold, or trust me, I can relate to these things, even if I seem very gregarious to people in my life and doing really bold things in terms of my career, etc. in the past, I can find those spots if I'm really honest with myself. So really consider going deep into this. So there's something going on here that I'm just looking at my notes if I pause. Yeah, and they're saying that you're taking on this shrinking from your mother potentially, or some of you may be. So this is obviously a family pattern that is trying to be addressed, to be rectified. So many of us come and incarnate to try to stop patterns in bloodlines. So that's part of, our role. And when I asked what wants to happen, what the future wants to look like, what is this potential? I saw you looking way out into the distance, and there's this shining star way far away, and it's kind of drifting a little bit farther. And I had this feeling of, I'm too late, or, oh, it's going to take so long, or, oh, I've put this off. And there's a truth to it, because they showed me this in a few other ways. The longer you're putting something off, the more it does kind of stretch away from you this desire that you have for your life. So what I saw right after that, though, was this symbol of your desire, this star, this shining beacon, started to come toward you rapidly. And it was standing right in front of your face. And it was showing me that there is a perception of somehow this being out of reach, somehow it's going to take too long, you can't do it, you've waited too long, whatever your mind, whatever your shtick is, that it's actually, they're showing that it's right here in front of you. It is a perception shift. And it's that endless reminder that we all need, that this is not a destination that your soul wants. Your destination is an embodied state. And especially for whoever's watching these, there is a deep, profound need, desire to experience this wholeness within, this self-love. And I tell you, self-love is talked about all the time, but rarely is it talked about in some ways, meaningful way. And it's important not to just think of it as lip service, or think of it as something light and cute and, oh yeah, I'm going to love myself, or, oh yeah, I already do. Loving yourself is the hardest thing a human's going to do. One, because what you've been taught about love is not really love. And it is an embodied state of presence, of accepting and embracing every single aspect of your inner world. And when you start going into some of those shadows, you will see how deep your programming runs. But it's also the requirement of every human being. So, those of you tough cookies who will have these conversations with me, kudos, welcome. So we need you to understand that whatever it is that is feeling so hard, that feels so scary, that the experience you're wanting in life, first and foremost, is right here. It's already within you. We just have to find a way to allow your mind to relax, to see that. And from that state, then all sorts of amazing things can happen in your life. But the things themselves are not, they're not the end all be all. They are simply a product of your inner state, which is why so many people struggle with the external world, because they're not aligning first within. And it's, Esther Hicks talks about it. Law of Attraction talks about it. Lots of teachers talk about it. I talk about it endlessly with my clients and with my online family. But it's, easier said than done. These butterflies, really think about, and I love that they had me use this deck in particular, because it's one of my favorite ways. I love butterflies on the death card, especially. But the fact that they're showing this, that they call this the Fool card, and we've got butterflies. Butterflies go literally from a funny little creepity long worm to a gorgeous, light, fairy-esque sort of creature that is visually magical. And so this is a big transformation waiting to happen, but there is a rootedness that you're struggling with. So let's see. Yeah, they were showing me the Sun card too at one point, and I heard, I can do it. And the child that's usually on the Sun card, because I felt the Sun card energy big time. That very last card to the right kind of reflects that. That's beautiful, bright sunlight. There's this childlike part of you, which is the strongest part of you, by the way. We're not making light of it. That is still pure and intact. You came in feeling like you could do it. You came in like that little, usually depicted as a naked little baby on top of a horse with this bright shining sun, who is utterly unstoppable and unshakable. That's still within you, and we're trying to access that again, so that all these other parts in your life that may be struggling can just fall into place. So Yeah, and they said this goal when they showed me this image of this faraway dream zooming back toward you to remind you of how close you are. They said what this is living in yourself with love. That is your soul's top desire. So consider that. You may be like, oh, I want a better partner. Oh, I want more money. Oh, I want a better job. Or, oh, I want my life to feel like it has meaning. Every one of those things will be a symptom of you learning how to go within first. And this is not what any human really wants to hear. Egos hate this stuff. Yet it is literally the answer to everything. So they also mentioned, I have no idea who this is for, because this means zero to me, but I was hearing something about the foothills of South Dakota. I literally had to ask Alexa, oops, and she's going to talk right now because I said her name. I should know better than this. Okay, she's going away. I had to ask her, are there foothills in South Dakota? And she said there were. So I don't know if maybe there's some family line, or maybe there was a trip that you made there, or there's some kind of reference for one of you. It literally could just be one of you. So trying to juggle. I've got so many notes here, so we'll see how many I get through. This is just popping into my head, so I'm just going to say it. They were talking initially also about there being a how did they call it? Where did I write it down? Did they call themselves a spirit angel? Oh, here's another page of notes. Oh my gosh. Yes, they said that there's a guardian angel, but they said there are also two other guardian spirits. And for probably a few of you, those guardian spirits are deceased family members. You could be named after someone. Namesakes always have a very strange soul tie. I don't quite understand how that works, but my guides have told me that. And it's going to be important because especially the guardian angel, which is a much higher ranking energy being, they're here to, because this self-love thing is so tough. And if you think it's not, we could have some discussions, then you'd be like, oh shit, okay, yeah, that is a little harder than I thought. This, I want to say she, so maybe it is more of a feminine energy, but because I'm kind of seeing a female, like an archangel sort of thing. They're here to help you receive love, and we're going to get into that in the second card. And then as you learn to receive that from this being, which is 24/7, unconditional, unlimited, then you start learning what it feels like within your body and in your emotions to start imprinting of, oh, this is my goal. This is how I want to, this state that I want to be in. So this guardian angel is here to help you in many, many ways, and has been likely for your whole life, but especially in this big transition. And just know you can really lean on them, especially for the unconditional love piece, because they show me this like stream of white light coming down from this being into you. And your job is to learn to just chill and receive it and tune to that until that is a normal set point for you. Also keep in mind that, and maybe you're already aware of this, it wouldn't shock me if a lot of you are already very open and intuitive and having a lot of experiences yourselves. But there are two other, I don't usually rely on my deceased family. I also have two, specifically, I can talk to all my relatives, but two specifically are very, very close to me and act sort of like, guardian spirits. But I tend to prefer getting insights from even higher level beings. But I tell you, they are there also 24/7 and can really help. So it's about receiving. Because if we go to this next card, And if I've forgotten something, we'll just swoop back around. I'm looking at let's see, I am actually backtracking for a second. The Fool card, which is the World card. They were talking about leaving the past behind. And they said there was a fear of commitment too. That can be committing to life, committing to trusting humans, committing to a relationship, committing to taking on a new way of being, a new project, whatever that means for you. But there's this undercurrent of fear. They use the word heartening. I've never used that word, had to look it up. But it's talking about giving courage or confidence or uplifting or inspiring. So there may be this need for some courage, need to push through this. And remember, like they were saying, because they're showing me again that kind of stormy image from when we're trying to be in the shade, when we're trying to hide, when we don't want to put ourselves out there, when we don't want to take a risk and be uncomfortable. That's literally where life is. That's what's supposed to happen. That's good. But most of our egos have been trained to want to run from those things. And understandably, we've had, your past lives have been like probably pretty shit. And so they're gorgeous on a spirit level. Don't get me wrong. But, they can be tough. Pretty crazy things have probably happened to you over and over and over. So we can have a memory of that, and even memories through our bloodline, our DNA, our family. Because again, this specifically, there's something about family trying to unlock you from a burden that you've been carrying handed down to you. They said you've got a trouble with when I was being shown your family spirits. They said you've got a troubled mind in believing in yourself. They use that phrase sometimes with troubled mind, just meaning there's some beliefs that are just wonky. There's some beliefs that aren't accurate. And so there's a tough time believing in yourself. So while it would be super easy to just go and, listen to some card readings on, predictions on what's going to happen with your love or a future love, those things, I've experienced that in my own life, personally being drawn to those things. And they can really stall you, from my experience and from what my guides have shown me, that if we don't do the deeper work, those things can't happen. And those future forecasts can't occur because your energy hasn't been worked on to allow those new things. So if you just focus on doing that inner healing work, those things will just happen on their own, and you probably won't need a reading to tell you that. So just keep that in mind. But you probably already know that, because you probably wouldn't be hanging out this long if you weren't a more advanced soul. Okay, I think I can move on to this next page. Lordy, they were chatty today. Let's see. Yes, that you're starting over in some way. Coming into yourself. And there may be a challenge with kind of releasing a tie or a hook to a person as well. They kept showing me these butterflies flying off. It's really lightening your load. They also said that the longer that you wait to do this, it actually affects your energy field. So it's kind of like they showed me this like little black hole. And they showed me the world card, the traditional world card with a woman in it, this wheel, kind of sort of a wheel of life. And it's like a vortex was squeezing in everything. Everything was collapsing in on itself into this kind of black spot, like a little black hole. And it can affect you the longer you allow that to stay. It can start affecting your physical body. It can affect your energy field. It can affect your brain synapses, your hormone balances, all sorts of interesting stuff, probably on even trippier levels than I'm consciously aware of. So we want to be mindful of, while the mind will tell you to wait to face some of these things, never such a great idea. My brain likes to wait too. Don't worry, you're in good company. And the reality is it really can wreak some havoc. Luckily, you're an infinite, beautiful, perfect spirit who is eternal. And, this is just like a video game experiment to see how well we each can do. So on that level, everything's fine. And on a human level, it can be tough. And that's where most of us are, pretty deeply. They showed me the Seven of Pentacles, which is the next card, the middle card, with the hands holding this beautiful little leafy plant, but it's in reverse as well. So it's like, last week it was all major arcana upside down, and this week we've got, well, we've still got a major arcana, but we've got minor arcanas too. So we can see this continuation of a blockage energy. They're showing me that there's a few people that listened last week, and they're listening again, that this will probably resonate with, if you can open to that. I'm just looking at my notes again. So this is interesting. They showed me that this card is, what I wrote down is balance within yourself. And I wrote down, are you giving to yourself as much as you are to others, or to work, or to a relationship? Quite often this is a card of giving and taking, someone being generous with two other less fortunate people. They're showing me that there's an imbalance in the flow of, especially like you being one of the needy parties, you needing to learn how to receive, you learning how to receive this unconditional love from your guardian angel. It's so interesting because I usually don't call them guardian angels, but that's what they're referring to. So maybe this is going to resonate with your languaging. They said that, just for kind of shits and giggles, we can think about it as, can we kind of get 50% of our life focus toward our inner world, our inner work, our relationship with ourselves and all these parts of us that need support and love, that we spend 50% of our life grounded into our bodies. And then we've got another 50% to give to service, to our families, to friends, career, etc. So think about that, and leave messages if something resonates or something doesn't and you have a question. So let's see, it's interesting, you've got two sevens. You've got a Seven of Pentacles and a Seven of Wands. And then the bottom of the deck is the Eight of Pentacles. So there is a progression trying to happen. The Seven of Wands, they said, this is a warning to yourself. And I was like, warning? That's not a word I usually hear. And warning, they don't have the human, is the word colloquial? I'm hearing that word in my mind. They don't have the same notions when they use pretty blunt words for me personally all the time, and I have to go look them up to realize, oh, they're never trying to judge and they're never trying to scare ever, because they don't have those, they don't see it that way. Only human brains see things as problems like we do. But it's to grab your attention, and they said, warning to yourself, to love you. And they want you to forward to your future. You may want to consider, and by just a couple times I've done this, at pivotal times, big guns sort of times, where I would imagine being on my deathbed, and for those of you that are squeamish, you probably wouldn't be hanging out here anyway, but this can be the most powerful thing, to fast forward to the end of this incarnation and look back and go, oh, this thing I'm so scared of, am I glad from my deathbed perspective, where I'm like 5 seconds from kicking it? Am I still really glad I held on to that fear and played small? Or from this vantage point, does that unlock something that kind of shakes my mind awake to go, oh, what's worse, playing it safe my whole life in certain areas, or taking risks, maybe failing a whole bunch, because failing isn't a thing. Failing is just experiencing something. That word should really go away. It's experiencing something and getting some results. And then you re-experience something again with that new knowledge. And then you get some results. Some of them will be to your liking, some won't. And it's just a game of, choices and consequences. Choices and consequences. So you just learn to maneuver better and better to get like nicer and nicer consequences. So I'm not sure why I said that, but hopefully it makes sense. We want to, because they showed you on this mountaintop, and you had your hands thrown up, you were shining so brightly, and you were saying, I love you, to yourself. You were just screaming it to the universe. So this card is really needing for you to realize that the give and take in life is for you. Are you filling your own cup? Are you putting on that mask before your neighbor or your partner? Let's see. They also said the word garage, and I saw a flash of a garage. So I don't know if you have a garage that's got a bit of a mess in it. That maybe needs to be sorted out. Do a little feng shuiing, that could be kind of affecting you in your home space if you have a garage. I have that written in that section. Then we've got the so we're at the bottom of the deck, and that's the leftmost card, and this person is doing a tattoo of a wolf. And this was a different meaning as well for me. Typically the Eight of Pentacles is showing somebody who's just like cranking out, banging out these coins, making them, just producing. And I guess in some ways there is an aspect of it, because they were showing somebody being very hyper focused. We're zoomed in here. We're creating art, and we aren't thinking of anything else. We are just microscopically making these little dots on somebody's skin. And they were showing, this is interesting languaging too. They said, love is below you. And they just showed the earth holding you and lit up in white. And then they said, love is above you. And then I was shown this person fixated on something in the present moment. And so there may be staying busy with projects, with home stuff, with busyness, with your to-do list, being in your head somehow, keeping you from looking at the things that are a little off. And trust me, everybody's got stuff that's off. It's just nobody wants to face it. So it's not that there's a problem with you. You're just the only one brave enough to have this conversation. So well done. Gold star sticker on your forehead. So we want to reframe this. They said the phrase, fear is burdening you. So there's a myopic zooming in, keeping yourself distracted. Could be addictive things, could be being on your phone all the time, zoning out, watching TV, whatever it might be, that is keeping you from realizing and facing these fears. Well, because nobody's taught us how to deal with these fears. So they feel ick. And of course, we just run from them, like all of humanity. And welcome to the state of the world. So we want, again, to reframe this, to realize that is a part of you. If you numb out, you are missing the little subconscious children that you had to shove in the basement of your mind as a little kid to cope and to survive. And that's when you feel fear, when you feel anger, jealousy, sorrow, hopelessness, whatever it is. It's one of those little kids knocking at the door, wanting up out of the basement. It's a beautiful opportunity to take them in, give them a bath, listen to them intently, hear their experience, be so compassionate with them. And then once they trust you, this part of you trusting the higher part of you, then you can start having dialogues. Oh, sweetie, why are you feeling so afraid? Why would they send the fearful one up to kind of take me over in this moment? What does fear get us, are you hoping? And is that really working? Is the fear really getting you what you want? I've had so many conversations with aspects of my fearful ones. There's definitely an aspect of mine where when she shows up, I see her, I tend to like to personify them. And I let the emotion kind of wash through my body, and then I let it kind of jump out of me as another little creature, usually a version of myself. And she will cower in the corner till the cows come home. She has no desire to deal with humans, no desire to deal with life, none. So when she steps forward, and she has a very unique signature, energetically, it's like, oh, okay, here she is. When I've had dialogues with her, she's shown me, while she stays fearful and stays small, to keep from being hurt. And then as she and I have had more time together, we get to have that discussion of, yeah, but you're alone. You're not out in life experiencing it. Sure, you're not getting hurt, but you're also not getting helped. You're not getting loved. You're not having fun. And could there be another way to keep you safe? Is it really avoiding whatever it is that you're avoiding, whatever it is you're afraid of? Or could there be baby steps to take to overcome those fears? Could it feel really wonderful to face them? Maybe you need some support. Maybe you need, a good therapist or mentor. Maybe you need to take an extra 15 minutes to half an hour in the mornings to just do some journaling back and forth with those different parts of you. And endless things are available for that. But take it seriously, not because there's something wrong with you, and not because there's anything dangerous going on. Just simply because this is literally how life works. Nobody gave us the rule books, and we're just finally, some of us, starting to have these dialogues where we're learning how to course correct to step into the life that we've always wanted. Let's see. I'm seeing this note that I scribbled into another page, but it's about that center card with the hands holding the plant. And they showed this garden, and they said, tend to your inner garden, because they showed some of you are over there like tending to other people's gardens, but at the end of the day, you're helping somebody else's garden grow, and they get to reap the benefits of that, and it's not your garden. So you're not going to have anything to eat, spiritual sustenance. You're going to be left with a yard that doesn't have a garden, where everything's dried up and dying, and not bad dying, just, plants, they need watering. You may have to plant some more seeds and tend to that. And that is they're showing me that you want to have patience too, because some of these things that you're setting in place week by week by week, baby step by baby step, stretching out of your comfort zone, trying on new concepts and practices that, over the next 1 to 2 years, which is actually a short amount of time to make some big transformations. You want to know that you're in this for the long haul, and that really beautiful things can happen, and it is worth it, because you can either be 1 to 2 years from now happy, or you can be 1 to 2 years from now kind of recycling these patterns, because they will just endlessly recycle for all of us. I've got patterns that, I've worked on a million others, but there's some that just haven't gotten that time from me. And they're still doing the same things they did since I was like 2 and 3. So again, you're never done. So don't beat yourself up. But what was interesting is when I pulled some oracle cards, and they requested that I pull 2 this time. And I thought, oh, well, surely this is a love reading. And what they were showing is that this is your spirit guide. I was not expecting that, but this, what did they call it? Guardian angel. And it's connected. If I think swans mate for life. They have this incredible, unshakable connection. And so you want to keep that in mind of this being, this translucent, beautiful being is like that, pressed to your little head, third eye to third eye, that is infinitely there for you. And building those relationships as much as we build our relationships with humans, because humans are fickle. They have to sleep, and they have to eat, and they get their panties in a twist, and they do stupid things, and, welcome to humans. But your spirit guide can be there for you no matter what. And as you really regurgitate, it's interesting, they're showing me, you are this, notice how they look the same. I want to call it a goose. The swan. They're showing how they're the same. This is an important extra point they're pointing out. Thank you. So you've got this guardian angel. I'm having such a hard time remembering those phrases because I don't use it. So you've got this guardian angel, but they're really impressing, as I'm looking at this card, that you look identical to this guardian angel. And at your core, at all of our core, you are that. This being isn't separate from you. This is an aspect of yourself. Everything is an aspect of yourself. Nothing is more or less worthy. It's just different. It's just different. So make sure you're not like, oh, I'm not worthy, and doing that shrinking thing that comes from your family, either from whatever went on with your father or from this bloodline thing with your mother to shrink, or both. You are made of the same stuff as this angel. You are worthy. It's not to get cocky, because that's what human beings tend to switch to. We go from, I'm not worthy, to, being a bit of a tyrant. It's that everything is worthy, and you have every right to ask and allow in and soak up as much goodness as your little heart can stand. Because what's interesting is we've got this, my brain wanted to define the shark card, that blue card. It tends to be somebody who's standing up on a hill pushing everybody away and kind of fighting and defending. And it feels mated. While my guides didn't show it to me that way, they're paired for me right now. If we go to this blue, dark, murky, underworld sort of place where, it feels like they're sharks and we have to defend ourselves, to those fears being busted away in that very, very last card. Those rocks are fears, and they need to be one at a time broken down. And you may not feel the results of it right away, but after you've chipped out 8 of them, 10 of them, 12 of them, and the hole just keeps getting bigger, more sunshine comes in. It's a game of how much can you let in. There's no stopping point. It's just, it gets better, and it gets better, and it gets better, and it gets mo better, and mo better, and mo better. So we want to really remind that deeper part of you that knows this already, that those fears are limitations. We got these beliefs and these fears when we were really, really tiny, when things were life and death, where if we did not get love from our tribe, or maybe worse things happened to you, you can't survive. Humans cannot emotionally survive, physically cannot survive without love. So we will shove parts of us down. We will adjust ourselves. We will perform. We will shut down, shrink, whatever it is. But we forget that the perspective we had at 2 when we were very not wise is profoundly different at whatever age you are right now. And we have to just keep reminding ourselves. And I'll be sharing with you, I'm in the midst of revamping a website. I've taught many, many courses online, and I'll be sharing with you more about some upcoming trainings and a book that I'm writing to help you very specifically walk through those things. So if you're coming away going, oh, what do I do though? Don't worry, we'll get there. I will show you. I have done this for so many years, and I'm still in the process because I'm still here and breathing. And hopefully those of you that may be struggling or just really hungry to break some of these patterns, I can help you more with that. So definitely make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that I can let you know when some of these things get anchored in. There's a lot of fun things coming in the next year that I would love to share with some of you. Sorry if this is a little disjointed, because they were talking so much, and when I do this with clients, I'm in a completely different zone, but now I'm having to talk on a camera and look at cards and look at this. So it threw me a bit, but hopefully you rode this wave with me, and they'll get tighter and tighter as we go along. I've done card readings on another channel before, and I've taken a break from it. So I'm just getting myself back in the swing of this format. Let's see, is there anything else? I think I covered everything. So highlights, you've got a guardian angel, and you've got 2 other spirit team people. Probably for some of you, those 2 are family members. Use their resources. Learn how to receive that love. Learn how to take that in. Let them show you what's off. Let them, if you got a big emotion coming up and you're like, I can't love that part of me. I don't even know I don't have any experience with that. That's too much to ask of me. Invite that spirit. See that angel stepping in and unconditionally loving you. Be clear. If you walk in the light, if you are for my highest good and the good of all, be here. Hold me. Literally, you can visualize them holding you through whatever emotion is coming up, and just slowly retraining your nervous system to break this habit of an old way. Those butterflies are like old childlike ways of dealing with something, but it's been repeated so many thousands of times. You see all those butterflies, and all of those habits have been practiced, and they all need to be set free. And that goes with baby steps, because they're showing me stair steps, just one step at a time, and you will get there. Brick by brick, you'll, knock the hole out, and you will see the light, so to speak. Oh, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to have 20 other things that I forgot to say. But I hope this wasn't too disjointed, and that you got the gist of it. And if you didn't, if you're like, oh, can you make another video about blah blah blah, or what did you mean by you XYZ? Just leave it in the comments. I'm happy to take a look and to support you however I can. All right, my gorgeous. So with that, I'm eager to see you another time. Again, make sure that you subscribe. And if you will like the video, please do so. That is how YouTube works now. The algorithms are king. So much love to you. I'm so excited that you're one of those few that will take this kind of level of ride, but it's the most exciting thing in life to me. And I look forward to connecting with you and getting to know your path. All right. Till next time, take care. Bye now.